So he's calling this old school terraza. One bite, everybody knows the rules. We didn't get here the first time. Place is very cool on the inside. We got Frankie Lazzani's whole story, which almost seemed borderline not believable. Like, see, there we go.
The Zoomer
There we
laugh.
go. What are you guys fucking laughing about? Exactly.
Exactly.
So here we go. One bite, everybody knows the rules. We won't let that get into what is that Toronto hospitality there?
That's terrible.
So after this, he came on to a podcast with his employees and just basically like crashed out on them. So let's see this.
I think right now you probably
Okay, nothing
don't
then.
do it.
Nothing. Silence everything.
What do you?
Every comedian, don't tell a joke about it. Because
Kirk,
somebody, like Dave,
Kirk,
that's how the world works. I
Kirk,
agree with you.
Go back to your question. When does freedom of speech impinge
That was your
on freedom
question,
of
not
religion?
mine. That was your question. Not mine.
Answer it.
How many deaths?
Yeah.
I don't have an answer. What's
Like
your
how
answer?
in
What's your-
America, American
what's your
citizens.
answer? What's your answer to that question?
Now.
Okay, we're there.
Now.
So now what? So now what do we do?
So maybe you stop with the fucking Jew jokes and act like it's not a big deal when someone does fuck the Jews in a bar.
Or no, here's the thing.
Wait, what is
I'm
he
with
even
you
saying?
1,000
What is he even talking about? Like,
He's saying we're not in hypotheticals. Like, I'm asking you directly right now. You tell me. Yeah.
For some of them, you should have fucking kicked those people out. Of course you should.
I'm not talking about kicking them out. I'm talking about.
You want to go to
Mick.
jail? Like, what do you want? Like, those guys.
You
what
are
do you want?
defending this guy Mick for
I'm
what
not-
he said right after that happened. He's not
No, I'm
anti-Semitic.
not
Yes, he
defending
is.
him. No,
if
I'm not.
your
no,
brain
I'm,
goes there,
I'm
you are
not
an
defending him, Dave.
anti-Semitic
What I'm
piece of
saying
shit.
is, you should have him on here or somebody else like that and
Why?
fucking fight with them because then you have a conversation.
That's what this idiot wants.
Dave, these guys that wrote the thing at the bar, fuck the Jews, right?
Yes.
You're gonna fucking fly them to
guy on the
Auschwitz.
left.
Some guy tweets at you.
what's that?
This guy on the left.
Yeah.
They're like screaming. I just tone
He
down.
said, are we gonna talk sports? My Oilers. Come on, guys.
What's a Jew?
What's going on?
Something you want to fucking. He's not. You
Kirk,
can't come on
it
here
was
for
a bar
5
I
minutes.
owned. It was a bar
agree,
I
and they
owned.
should have been kicked out. So, but my thing is,
No,
like,
it's
it
not
doesn't-
just kick out, Kirk. Are you ignoring what's going on in the world
No,
right
I'm
now?
not.
What does he want?
What
You
do
don't
you want
think
to do
it's
to those guys?
related?
What do
You
you
don't
want to
think
do?
it's
What do you
related?
want to do with those guys in the
Kirk,
bar? Put them
Yeah.
in jail for
Kirk,
50 years?
Kirk,
Fine. I don't
I
care.
didn't
They're
say that.
assholes.
You're quite literally changing everything you say, Kirk. If you
I'm
just
not
want
saying-
me to kick him out, not mention it, not care that this kid
Not at
is
all.
anti-Semitic,
Not at all.
shut
Not at all.
up. If you just want me to ignore
Don't
it,
tell me to shut up. Don't tell me.
shut the fuck up, you bald fuck.
Okay, go ahead.
How's that?
Oh, it's kill. I'll never recover from that, Dave. Go ahead, continue. I'll never recover.
You know what he should have done? You know what he should have said back to him?
My turn.
Yeah.
Well, you're the one who like, oh, big boss man, don't tell. I'll tell you, you work for me.
Okay, go ahead.
You
Continue.
little bitch, you work for
Continue.
me.
Sure, you bet. For now,
Oh, you
continue.
don't? For now, quit. I don't
Well,
care. I'll take 500 grand.
is this show or not a show? Like, is this a show or not a show? Like, we can't have a conversation?
You're an idiot.
Okay, continue.
You're
Go ahead.
literally saying people should be allowed to make Jew jokes, say whatever they want right fucking now. That's
Yes,
what
I
you're
think
saying.
people should be
Yes.
allowed to make jokes.
So how many motherfucking
Jokes.
Jews
Yes,
have to be
jokes.
killed before you stop?
That everybody, I don't think.
What else? Where else is that happening with the religion or people?
I don't think those psychopaths. I'm with you. They're scumbags. They're the worst people on the earth. Should that?
You don't think it's all related?
But Dave, you're telling a comedian not to make a joke.
It's
I'm
Nick is not a comedian.
I'm with you. But you said stop all jokes.
Jew jokes of that nature right
we'll
now.
we'll ban
if you
Jew
can't,
jokes of that nature. We'll get the Constitution. We'll get Congress and stop Jew
I'll go-
jokes
I'll-
of that
I'll-
nature.
I'll
They
go
probably
back to
will
this.
do that, by the
Yeah.
way.
When does freedom of speech
Doing it now, right?
impinge on freedom of religion?
I don't think freedom of speech should. I think freedom of speech is the most important thing in this country.
Okay, so people can go kill the Jews, and there's no responsibility if someone goes and kills Jews.
No, that's a crime if you kill somebody.
No,
That's
no,
not
no,
freedom
but
of
not
speech.
saying, hey, go kill Jews.
That's different. No. What
No,
do
you can't even do
you
that
can-
now, dude. That's an incitement of violence. That's illegal as well, bro. What the fuck are you talking about?
And say,
Well, but people like Portnoy would like is that saying F the J's also be considered incitement to violence and also be, considered not free
Oh, I
speech,
see,
right?
yeah.
That's what they want. And that's why they invented the term hate speech. Like that's where they're moving towards. Is like, well, if you're allowed to say mean things about us, eventually someone is going to come kill us, and then so you can't say mean things about us.
it does. That's not an excuse for getting rid of the First Amendment. Sorry, bud. Sorry.
Somebody should go kill.
The maybe that potentially that could happen is not a good enough reason to say we got to totally uproot the Constitution.
Jews. You don't do it,
In
but
my
someone
mind,
hears
in
you
my
and goes
opinion.
do it. You're fine with that?
If somebody says, go kill Jews?
Yes.
No, that's different than telling. I thought we were talking about telling a joke. I thought we were talking about comedians.
They are all using semantics for anti-Semitism right now. And I can tell the difference because for 20 years of doing it, I've never mentioned it, Kirk.
No, and I said to you when this thing
So
happened a couple
how
weeks ago,
can you not realize we're in a different time right now?
I completely realize, and I'm sensitive to the fact that you're sensitive, and I feel bad.
No,
that
you're not. You don't get it.
That's not true. I am sensitive to it. What I'm saying is, it's a fine line. I think you would agree. I think you would agree. So maybe you don't. That when you start harnessing free speech and what can be said and what can't
I'm
be
not
said,
saying
then it
throw
becomes
any
a-
of these
that-
people in jail.
that
You
becomes
want
a
me to give this kid a pass.
No. If you want, no. What I would like you to do, in my mind, this is why I pitched it to the producers, and you disagreed, and you are the boss. Like I said to you yesterday, it's your dime. You own the company. I thought it would be interesting to have somebody on who you disagree with, who I think at the end you wouldn't disagree with that much, have a conversation, which is what I thought you were trying to do. Hold on one second. Which I thought you were trying to do with bringing these guys to Auschwitz, trying to have a conversation. So you put a name and a face of somebody who you disagree with and have an actual conversation.
I think this is a good example of what I said earlier, where people can not, they're not disagreeing verbally. That's why he's saying like, well, what do you want? And he's not saying anything. So like, but the problem is he disagreed in tone, right? And that's what I think Portnoy is right to be, to recognize that even though this guy is saying, hey, I'll do whatever you want, right? There's no problem here, right? Like him being like, you are not expressing the tone that I think this deserves,
yeah.
and that we actually are disagreeing, and that because that itself is a disagreement.
Well, what do you think about what Portnoy's saying about like what? Because he never really actually set a prescription on what he wants to do with these people. He just said at this time saying that, and I might even agree with him to that extent where it's like, yeah, maybe it is like I probably wouldn't go I probably wouldn't go run around town and saying this stuff, but I also probably wouldn't say F Palestine, F Palestinians.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't do that either.
I mean, I totally think that I'm definitely leaning in favor of free speech.
Yeah, of course.
Even with something like if someone said, "Hey, go kill that guy," right? there's a Mano song where he says something like, "See that guy? Shoot him!" And every day since then, I've been a shooter or something like that. But if someone were to do that, I don't think they violated some sort of speech. It's like, well, then they would be charged with incitement to, like, they'd be charged with some sort of a crime of outsourced murder.
Yeah.
These and people walking down the street saying something mean to you are so far removed from that, you would never be able to get them in court. And because of that, you need a new crime, right?
Yeah.
They need to have another thing they could charge them
layer on
with,
top
which is
of it,
just
yeah.
this saying mean things in public, right? And it's like, well, that actually does violate the Constitution, where it's saying, you incite someone to kill someone, that's a problem.
It's just they want to make it so ambiguous to be like, well, this random guy saying this at a bar is inciting people to like, we don't even know. And like what he said, his line is like, where the hell is he didn't. The only way you can say for sure is if it's a directed do this. That's really like the only time I think you can say, well, that's an incitement to violence. Like, I don't think.
And
you
that's
can really,
how it is in court too. I think it needs
Yeah.
to be. You have to have a time limit. Like someone has to say on this date or right now. There has to be some sort of a directive of what to do and when for it to be criminal.
because then you're leaking into okay, well, you can't say F the Jays. Well, then now we're leaking into another thing where we can't even criticize Israel, right? Like you can totally take that to its logical conclusion and say it's like, no, I think that we need to just say if it's a hardcore incitement of a line where it says if you're actually commanding somebody to do something, that is the illegal thing. Everything else is fair game to me.
Because then very quickly, okay, well, what if someone says, I think you should unalive the Jays in Minecraft.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Right?
Then
Well,
you just you shift the goalpost. You shift the.
Yeah, and then now we're in the court and they're saying we know what you meant. We know there was hate behind it, right? And it's like as soon as that's not a foundation a real legal system can be resting on.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
No, that's wild.
That guy just sat there and took it the whole time. Look at this guy.
Congress.
Just totally did barely move. The guy's a stone. He doesn't give a shit. He said, "Can we talk about sports now?"
Yeah, that's curious. I don't know if that means he's seen this again and again, and it's just like a thing that's been going on, or if that's just the way he is.
And this is kind of people bringing up the hypocrisy of Dave Portnoy. Dave Portnoy likes to purport. He purports himself, man. That's kind of funny. Dave purports himself as a kind of, just a jock, say whatever I want, bro. Like, yeah, man, fuck that bitch kind of shit. And we have a clip here of him saying some pretty abhorrent shit. And, he doesn't care about that. But it's only when, when it's his team, sports metaphors, when his team gets criticized or, anything happens, then it's, we need to totally ban Hammer. We need to come down with it.
You posted the following on your site. I never condone rape, but if you're a size 6 and you're wearing skinny jeans, you kind of deserve to be raped.
Correct. I stand by that. I think it's a funny joke.
You think rape is funny?
No, I didn't say that. I think it's a funny joke.
Do you understand how offensive that is?
No, I obviously don't.
You posted the following on your site.
It's like, okay, dude. Okay. That's literally exactly what's happening in this clip, where it's like somebody said something that's funny. And that's another thing, too, is that, like, these kinds of things, like the Israel-Palestine thing, there's probably a bunch of normies out there who don't know fucking jack shit about any of this stuff. But it's in the cultural sphere, right? And people hear about Jays and Muslims and whatnot. And I'm going to just throw that out there as I'm passing by Dave Portnoy, because I know he's Jewish and it's funny, right? And it's like, I don't know. Maybe that guy is a Muslim,
I bet he kind of meant it.
You don't know that. We don't know this, but he didn't run him down and say, like, we don't know that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that there are probably some people who would throw it out there just because they've heard about it and they think it's funny.
Yeah.
Like, there's people who talk about, black people online, and you go out and you say some funny, 1350 joke to a black guy. Like, I don't even know if they really even know the weight. I mean, there's kids in middle school who are saying shit. It's like, I don't even know if they know the weight of what they're saying, right? Like, but
Yeah, but like, I mean, like that.
In the zeitgeist where,
If that was a joke, that wasn't funny, right? And it was aggressive and offensive, right?
No, I'm not saying. Well, I'm saying
walk by on the street and yell that to you.
Well, I'm saying
because they know who you are.
I'm saying, like, the particular instance is one. I understand that, but I'm just saying in a general sense, people just hear stuff in the news and they just want to say something to be shocking and offensive or whatever, and it is. You cannot really, you don't know exactly what the situation is behind that person saying that. So,
am I wrong? Remember when Kathy Griffin held up a decapitated head?
Yes, I remember that. Yes,
she wasn't charged with anything, right? And that's not just like generically,
it was art.
Like, yeah, kill MAGA people. Although I think who did that? Wasn't that which rapper had the song where he was just like killing MAGA people? But it's like, that's a specific target, moreover, right? Like, and not even charged. Like, okay, and I'm okay with that, right? But like this idea that when someone feels like they're under attack, or that, or rather that they're hated, because you just not people don't know what if you found out that you're living in a town and there are people there that really hate you, like, not just like they a little bit don't like, they really hate. That's a scary feeling because you just don't know what they're gonna do, right? And so I think that's what he's experiencing, and
well, that's kind of what I was saying. Is that
sucks.
Like, is that like,
sucks, but it also sucks to be identified with a nation that's committing.
Yes.
I don't know if I can say it, but the big G.
The big
right?
G.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying, is that, like, to him, this is such a cultural moment where he knows what's going on in the cultural sphere because he is Jewish or whatever, and he understands the ramifications of that. But I'm just saying that there are people who might not understand that, and they might just be spouting off at the mouth because they just hear it in the news.
For sure.
And it's just like,
for sure.
To them, it's whatever. But, like, he's taking it in a completely, well, this means, it's going to be the 1940s again, and oh my gosh, it's happening again. But like, to other people, they're just like, hey, whatever. And so, like, you can't really know that for him, but he's just assuming that that's the case. And it's just like, I don't really know. There's nothing to go off of, but he wants to be kind of foaming at the mouth rabid about it.
All right, real quick. I got a conference, but this rant, I'm going viral per use, trending on Twitter. That's what this guy does. I open my mouth and it just goes everywhere. I know it, clip, that's the deal. The latest one, me and Kirk from Unnamed, me yelling at Kirk, and you got everyone, oh, how could Dave ever talk to his employees like that? And fat boy Jason Whitlock, oh, he's evil. And Des Bryant, well, does he run like an offshore gambling company or something? He's like, don't ever, how can you talk to your employees like that? These guys just shut up and mind your business. Welcome to Barstool, all right? This is how we talk to each other back and forth, especially.
He sounds drunk. Do you think he sounds drunk here? He's kind of
sounds like the kind of guy who always sounds a little drunk, but
okay.
you know,
valid.
I feel like I can always smell it, but you know, I doubt it. I doubt he's drunk.
He sounds like he's slurring to me, and his face is really red. But
Yeah.
we'll keep watching.
Yeah.
Kirk and I. So just shut up. Shut up. Those people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. This is about the bigger thing. And again, clips, what we talk about, taken out of context. Now I'm seeing, oh, Dave wants to throw people in jail for Jew jokes, and Dave wants to, like, regulate Jew jokes. He's been this free speech guy, and remember, he sang that Ja Rule lyric, like, 10 years ago and shit. Like, it's crazy. So let me set this... Let me just set the record straight because people just watch the little clips. I was referring to, if you're making a Jew joke currently, right now, like after a bunch of Jews get Molotov cocktails thrown at them in Colorado, or after 2 Jews are gunned down outside a Jewish museum, and your response...
Wait, were they Jews? I didn't think they were. I thought they were...
Yeah, but whoever did it probably thought they were because they were there for a Israeli event. I think they did end up being Christian though.
Okay, that's valid.
Is somehow it's like the Jews' fault or a veiled Jew joke. You're an anti-Semitic piece of shit. That's what this was about. This was about after Mo Khan held the "fuck the Jews" sign in my bar, and I kicked him out and tried to make an example of him. A troll basically was saying, like, I have no right to talk about that or be mad about that. It's just a joke. I make jokes. When a joke's illegal? Well, that's an anti-Semitic piece of shit. I'm not saying he should be in jail. I'm not saying put him in cuffs. I'm just saying that dude is an anti-Semitic piece of shit. If you can't tell the difference between fuck the Jews, which was not a joke, that was Mo Khan's thing, and you become Mo Khan and just be like, what, I can't joke anymore? Either way, freedom of speech. I'm fine with it. I've dealt with Jewish jokes for 20 years. Have you ever seen me talk about, oh, don't make Jewish jokes? No, I got thick skin. I don't give a fuck. People joke. People say dumb shit. People say sometimes funny shit. 20 years, I haven't mentioned it not once. Suddenly I'm mentioning it because I've noticed in the Mo Khan thing brought it to a head, a real change in this country where it's just open season on the Jews. Now, where I do think freedom of speech, freedom of religion is you have these protests where they're like saying, what is it, global jihad and globalize the intifadella, whatever that word is. And they're saying from the river to the sea, and they're holding Hamas-like flags and headbands and all this, saying kill the Jews and kill all Americans and all this shit. And guess what? People are starting to kill Jews in America, American citizens. They're throwing Molotov.
But this kind of plays into what I was saying earlier, is that, like, he's trying to attribute these kind of protests to a random person saying this shit when they might have just heard it in the zeitgeist, this type of shit, and they're just... Whether or not that's the case, I don't know. I'm just saying you can't sit there and be like, that guy's on the same level as the Palestinian protesters saying from the river to the sea. Like,
no, but if that happened...
He just has an heightened sense of this shit because of what's going on. But not everybody is on the same fucking level as he is.
Yeah, but we don't care. That's the problem. The guy on his show, he didn't care that much. And it's true. He's right when but more or less, he's accusing him of, you don't even care that this guy said F the Jews right there in public. And they laughed, but all those kids laughed,
We're laughing,
right?
yeah.
And here we are, and now I'm on the show, and I'm upset, and you're like, man, it's just, people like.
Well, because we had to deal. White people had to deal with that shit for fucking the last 15 years, and we did say shit about it, but like,
Jews haven't.
Come on, bro, like, come on. We haven't been making fucking. We should change freedom of speech to fucking protect white people, white European. Like, give me a fucking break, dude.
cocktails at him. They're gunning him down outside a Jewish museum. There's 2 other examples. One guy was outside a nursery school and was saying, I'm going to kill all these kids. Went to a gun store to buy a gun, all in the same motion to go back, and he actually, thank God, they didn't give him the gun. He didn't pass the background check, and the clerk is literally like, this guy's muttering how he's going to go kill all these Jewish kids at a nursery school in America, in the United States of America, American citizens. So, yes, colleges and people and even politicians have coddled this speech, be like, well, it's speech, it's context. You literally, the University of Columbia, MIT, Harvard, I see there's a fucking flyer for a protest at like Bard College, which I guess is part of Columbia, literally had a guy throwing a Molotov cocktail on the poster. And it happens like 2 weeks later. So yeah, I am a free speech guy. At what point, when people are literally saying, let's go kill the Jews, do you start to believe what they're saying in America? In America, American citizens. So I have a problem with that. Don't confuse the 2 things with some fucking troll. Be like, hey, Prez, you have a big nose or this or that. Yeah, if you're saying that right now, I think you're an anti-Semitic piece of shit in light of everything that's going around in this country. And go look at my comments on Twitter. Go look at Stool President and read under my name. You'll see how much fucking hate, how much vitriol is out there, and people trying to couch it, be like, oh, he's just mad for... And by the way, I don't care about those fucking people. I'm better than you. I've always been better than you. That's why I'm me, and you're trolling and leaving comments under my thing. So I don't give a fuck.
What's up?
I say easy there, David.
Easy there, big
Fuck
fella.
about those people. I care very much about these protests where apparently you can get away now with saying let's kill Jews, and then people are going out and killing Jews. I'm not sure that's not related. I'm not sure when there's all this fucking anti-Semitic rhetoric ramping up, and people are just kind of looking the other way and feel comfortable to do it, that it doesn't end in tragedy with U.S. citizens getting killed. So, yeah, maybe when I hear from college administrators, it's context when you say global jihad, I'm taking a little more seriously now.
And look, and this is kind of to the point I was making earlier, is that, look, white people have been getting shit on for the last, 15 years. What did we do? What did white people do?
I mean, well, what?
We went online and we started.
That's a huge box there.
Well, I'm just saying that, we went to war with woke, and we went and debated it, and we took it to the fucking online spheres, and we said how stupid it was, and we made them a clown. He's saying, well, this is just not I don't even know what is his solution here. Look, if you want to say this stuff is anti-Semitic or whatever, okay, get on there and fucking debate the people. Have the conversation with free speech. Use that as your weapon, my guy. We did the same. We did the same shit.
Isn't that what he's doing though?
No, but it sounds like he wants. I mean, it sounds like he wants some sort of curtailing or limiting of free speech. He's saying these people are protesting, which are all. I mean, it's illegal to go and protest.
I feel like he's not actually saying that, but that's what
that's just implying that, right? It seems like
and that's what we're seeing with the Harvard stuff. They're behind the scenes. They are definitely pushing for that.
It sounds like he wants to rig the bullshit to get the law involved, to say, get out of here. You're going to jail. You're doing this. We're gonna have. And it's like, no, dude, white people didn't do that. Maybe some of them wanted it or something, but we just had to go and fight this shit online.
And remember the Stop Asian Hate stuff? Like during COVID, there was an uptick in people yelling stuff at Chinese people.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's not that it's okay. It's just but this stuff happens. Right. And I'm sure, African Americans are dealing with the increased amount of this right now as well, just from and Islamists as well. Just
all the time.
Indians. I see a lot of Indian hate online.
Yes.
It's like everyone is dealing with hate right now, right? Because the situation's bad, nobody's happy, and no one's dominant. Maybe it's not as clear that anyone's in charge, and so everyone's gonna deal with the hate, and they're all gonna have moments where it escalates into violence against them, and that's welcome to Earth,
Right? Yeah. No, I agree.
If he's saying, also an anti-Semitism is getting out of control, it's like, could that have something to do with what's going on and all the most well-documented massacres of civilians in the last 100 years? It's like everyone's seeing this stuff, and that might have something to do. And I understand not every Jew is an Israeli, but you could understand why people might connect them and might feel that their emotions might leak.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. What is that? What the fuck is that? Is this real?
I think it is actually. Well, wait. I think it is.
He tweeted this as a 40-year-old adult man.
That one actually I feel like I did hear about a long time ago. Is that
Free
812?
speech for thee, but not. No, free speech for me, but not for thee.
That he must mean that as a joke. It's just not a funny joke, but I think he that must be irony.
Look
right?
at the look at the freaking 2.7 thousand. The ratio is crazy, dude. If you want to purport yourself
He's
as
not
that,
not beating the allegations.
yeah, it's like if you want to purport yourself as that guy, go ahead. But like, don't be a pussy, bro. Just fight back. Just argue back and debate these people. Go on, be like, you know what? I'm gonna set something up with somebody, and I'm gonna go back toe to toe with someone. Like, okay, not your fucking employee. That's crazy. Like the guy you work with, you're just gonna crash out on him and call him an idiot. Like that's not the way to do it.